Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Big Talk here on Global Television, where we spotlight developments in politics in the country. Over the weekend, the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission had conducted election for the 25 chairmanship position and the councillorship positions in the state. But there have been several reactions and a call that it was more of a sham and that has fallen short of the democratic standard. And this is coming from a senator who is representing the Delta Central Senatorial District, who has described the state local government council elections on Saturday as the sham and mockery of democratic ideals and standard. The senator spoke on the growing concern across the country on how the sitting state governors using the State Independent National Electoral Commission to undermine the growth and development of the electoral system at the local government level. The Delta State Central lawmaker, while reacting to the outcome of the council polls held in Delta State, said that it's very unfortunate that the people at the grassroots level are prevented from participating in democratic process by state governors to freely elect their councillors and council chairman. Let's give you some clips from that particular exercise where there's been a lot of concern about what really went wrong. If we have autonomy for the local government, should we continue to have this drama and shams where governors take holds of different local government chairmanship positions and the many wards councillorship positions? Because it looks as if that the appeal and the intention of the president in supporting the financial autonomy of the local government was defeated by that what really played out in Delta State. PDP sweeps all the 25 position in the Delta State local government, and this was also the fact that the opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, says that the electoral umpire in Delta State was not going to conduct credible elections, and they are predicted, and hence most of the candidates had withdrawn from the polls. According to him, it is very unfortunate and sad how people can go to acquire power. It's even more troubling that after 25 years in a democratic experience, we can't conduct what looks like an election at local government level. What took place in Delta State on Saturday, to all intent and purpose, can't be classified as an election. That it is a complete sham and an affront to all known democratic ideals. It has been the fact that the state electoral umpire probably was acting on the instruction of the state governors, and this also brings us to the point where we have to properly see what we can do in avoiding some of these outplay by other state governors, because of course in Akwa Ibom there are plans to conduct local government elections in a state like Anambra. They're also planned by the governor to conduct local government elections. All of this was part of the concern we have about what it means for us to grant full autonomy to local government. Should the State Independent Council be allowed to conduct election for the state? Should INEC, the national body, allow this time to conduct election? Even when some people are arguing that they are not perfect. The INEC itself are not perfect to conduct election. The challenges we are facing with the state independent body might likely also be the same in situation of trying to put things into working, how we can get Nigeria's democracy working. But away from that, there are a lot of concerns and incapable of the fact that allegations by some democratic leaders in the state has called on this body to look at conducting free, fair and credible election. But in the subject matter local government autonomy, we had a conversation last week. My guest was spotlighting some of the gains and the profit of local government autonomy to local government. I bring that to you now so you can get to understand some of the questions that are highlighted and which is already playing out in Delta State. If it what it means for us, if the autonomy really means well for the grassroots politics. Take a listen to what the conversation looked like earlier in the program last week.
The statement that all Nigerians has been waiting for listening to. Local government autonomy did not started with what we are discussing today. Back there, even during the colonial era, you discover that for colonial government, for them to effectively administer Nigeria, they adopted native authority. And as a result of that native authority, in terms of economic, in terms of social activities, it helps them. And they were able to harness our economic potential to the betterment of our people. Now, it started as in 1914. After 1914, when the Native Authority started, they wanted to be developing how they can use the native people to better the life of Nigeria. They were looking for how to improve this. There was a reform in 1950. After that, there was another local government reform in 1966. There was another one in 1998. So this is to tell you that the issue of local government autonomy did not started today, but it is this problem started with 1999 Constitution, when in an attempt to push more fund to local government for even development, that was when the issue of joint allocation came in. And with the joint allocation, it was expected that the governors will use the lump sum of resources so that it can be allocated judiciously to where it is needed for even development at the local government areas. But it was misused. You know, when you give people an inch, they take a length. So that is the problem. But with this present development, to me, it is a triumph for the grassroots. And with what the president of local government, Nolge, is saying, if we look at it critically, let's even take it from the security challenges that we are having in Nigeria. When local government authority has, as in the autonomy of their resources, they can actually channel those resources to where they are needed. For example, one of the major reasons why this issue of insurgency, kidnapping is because of lack of, employment. Gone are the days in the 80s when the local government have the autonomy. You discover that economic activities of every local government it operates at optimal level. When the allocation is released at local government in the 80s, you discover that whatever that you are selling, you will know that the allocation has been released, because everybody that is partaking in one economic activity or the other knows that somebody, civil servants or local government workers, the moment they get salary, they come to the market. Apart from that, the local government authority, they are the one that know where all these all the area that needed to be addressed. They know they are familiar with their challenges, and they know the people that they can entrust those resources on their hand so as to affect the needed development in the local government. Apart from that, we discover that one of our challenges is a lack of fund, because before now, the local government, a chairman of local government is not in charge of the local government fund as a result of this joint allocation account. They are the will of their governors. It is what governors give to them, and the moment they pay salary, there is nothing the funds can do in the society. Like I said, in the 80s, you would see projects.
Some project carried out by local government.
Drainage. You will see cleaning of markets. You will see, even local government, they used to have farm of their own.
And that was encouraging production.
Are you getting it? And when the youth, when they have something doing at their local government, the issue of going to state capital or urban area will drastically reduce, because there was nothing at the local government level. Again, this naturally pushed young able men to the urban city. And at the end of the day, when they don't have much or anything to offer or to do in the urban city, the next thing is involved in crimes and criminality. So what the local government, the president of Norge was saying, you discover that it is he is saying the right thing, that it is going to solve 50% of our challenges. Even me, I'm looking at it that is more than 50%, because when they have their fund in their hand, they know the problem, they know the challenges that they are facing in their localities, and they know how to address it. So that is the reason why I'm alluding to that fact.
All right. I mean, let's identify the challenges to this issue. I mean, because well identified is a good move. Even the president had endorsed this. I'm going to take a clip of the president after now. But let's take a look at issues of capacity building.
Yeah.
There are consideration and concern, the fact that we do not have the good man. To your assessment, I don't know if the quarters that are actually making this argument are right. Capacity of chairmen, capacity of individuals who are going into this office, who are managing these resources, who are sitting down at the face of the local government. Are you bothered about the capacity we have at the local government, where there is a need to start, critically looking at those things? Because we do not want a situation where we've seen where governors at their state lacks capacity to deliver the mandate or to judicially manage whatever is within their disposal for delivery. What's your concern about that, and what do you think can be done urgently?
You see, in terms of capacity building, it is left to the localities, because one, it was because they are the whims and caprices of governors. Governors just handpick who they wanted. Not that that person is better than any other person that they are maybe contesting for that position. When it is no longer in the hands of governors, now, the local government will now look critically into the personality of who is becoming our chairman. His pedigree, maybe his track record. If his track record is something that the locality can accept, because it is not government that is, governors that is deciding for the people. It is now the people are deciding for themselves. So they can actually choose who is better, who has that capacity that can deliver in that mandate. So in fact, autonomy, the local government autonomy that we are enjoying today, honestly, is the problem. When we lose it, that's mark the starting point of Nigeria's problem, because it was no longer a merit issue again. It was no longer capacity again. It is who Mr. Governor wanted. Either he can deliver in that capacity, he doesn't care. Even to an extent that a governor wanted to bring his own in-law after his time has lapsed in the office. He wanted to bring his own in-law. So are you telling me that among the contestants, among the aspirants, there is nobody that can deliver on that mandate than his in-law? Definitely the answer is no. And if care is not taken, it's going to be hereditary. And that is why, you know, this judgment honestly is a triumph to the grassroots, because one of the reasons why we need a Democrat in the affairs of our country is this. If you look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if you look at his record via democratic agitation, this is, in fact, this is going to be one of the biggest legacy is going to bequeathed on Nigeria, because for this singular judgment is going to have positive effect on the lives of the grassrooters. So that is it.
All right. I mean, let's get to the issues of equitable distribution of resources, because this is about over 774 local government we have in the country.
Yeah.
And we've been struggling and grappling with the issues of distribution in the state. Sometimes this other state argues that we have more allocations pushed to this other state and all of that. Are you bothered that this may also be another dimensions of argument over where some local government may not have equal distribution of resources, where we have that instances within the state operations where we have locations moved from the federal government to the state? What's your concern about distribution?
Yeah, if you look at the system of resources distribution or allocation regarding local government authorities, you discover that it is not by 774 local government. There are so many things that is being considered before the resources are allocated to local government. One, they consider population. They consider economic activity. They even equally consider what is your local government making into the purse of the government. So it is not allocating resources based on their number. There are so many factors that are being considered before that allocation resources are allocated. For example, now, let me take my state as an example. In Kwara State, Ilorin West happens to be the largest local government. So when it comes to the issue of resources allocation, you cannot allocate